Hello, everyone. Welcome to Interesting Stories. Let's begin. The auditorium at Willow Glen Elementary buzzed with the usual chaos of an end-of-year show. Plastic chairs scraped. Kids giggled backstage. A single off-key piano note hummed through the old speakers. Naomi Carter sat in the third row. She smoothed the ivory linen of her dress. Her fingers still carried traces of cookie dough from the batch she'd rushed to finish before running over from the bakery. She made it just in time for her daughter's performance. A tall woman with a name tag, Ms. Riley, stepped onto the stage. She looked rushed and a little flustered. "We have a small hiccup," she said into the mic. Her smile was stiff. "Our pianist had to cancel, last minute. Personal reasons." The crowd murmured. Some kids turned to peek at the audience. Ms. Riley continued, "If anyone here has ever played piano, even just a little, and would be willing to help us finish the last act, we'd be so grateful." Her eyes scanned the room and stopped, clearly, on Naomi. "Naomi, right? I think you mentioned music lessons? Piano, wasn't it?" Naomi leaned back slightly. Her shoulders touched the plastic chair. She smiled politely, but hesitantly. "Oh, it was just a few chords when I was young. I don't think I remember anything." Ms. Riley was already off the stage, holding sheet music. She leaned in. Her voice was soft, but firm. "We only need a few background notes for the kids to sing along. No one's expecting anything big." Another teacher chimed in, laughing. "Just pretend it's for preschool." Naomi looked toward the stage. Under the spotlight stood an old grand piano. Faint dust shimmered across the top. She almost shook her head, but then she caught a glimpse of Zara, her daughter, grinning, waving from across the room. "Are you going up, Mom?" The voice echoed inside her. Only she could hear it. Naomi nodded. Just once, she thought. Naomi walked on stage, like entering a place that didn't quite belong to her. Under soft golden light, the grand piano looked like a memory. Worn, waiting. She sat, sheet music in her hand, still unopened. "La Campanella." She paused. This wasn't just a few notes for kids. It was one of the hardest classical piano pieces ever written. It showed no mercy, not to anyone unprepared. She whispered, maybe to herself, maybe not. "So they think I can only play Happy Birthday?" A faint laugh flickered in her eyes, then disappeared. Flashback. Years ago. Paris. A small recital hall, high ceilings, crystal lights reflecting on polished floors. 17-year-old Naomi sat at a Steinway & Sons piano. Hair pinned up, hands hovering. A French judge said softly, "Miss Carter, whenever you're ready." And she played. No hesitation, no fear. She was born for this. Every note was her voice. When it ended, the room was silent. One judge said only 3 words. That was art. Back to the present. Naomi's hands rested on the keys, not pressing, just resting. A small callus marked her left pinky, a trace of who she used to be. In the front row, a teacher whispered, "I don't think she can play this." "Maybe not," someone replied, but she looked strangely calm. Naomi didn't hear them, but she felt the eyes, the same eyes from childhood, half doubt, half curiosity, always seeing her as the black woman who plays piano. Flashback. Naomi at 19. A tiny kitchen, late night. An open suitcase sat on the table, sheet music, scarves, a letter from the Vienna Conservatory. Across the table, her mother trembled, hospital bills in hand. "Naomi, I'm sorry. I need you here. Grandma won't make it through the night." Naomi looked at the suitcase, then at her mom, and closed the lid. "I'll stay. Don't worry." Back to now. Naomi sat still. The music hadn't started. Zara leaned forward in her seat. She clutched her bunny, lips tight. "She's gonna play," Zara whispered. "I bet she's really good." "How do you know?" "Because she's good at everything. Just nobody's noticed yet." Naomi closed her eyes. She didn't hear music. She heard Paris trains. her grandmother's breathing, the oven dinging at 4 a.m., Zara's laugh the day she called her the cookie artist. Naomi opened her eyes and reached for the first key. The first note sounded like a sigh, soft, slow, almost uncertain, but not shaky, just careful, as if Naomi was asking, "Do you still remember me?" The next few notes followed, gentle, winding, like someone waking from a long sleep. A kid whispered, "This song's kind of sad." "Like my dad's old movies," another replied. On stage, Ms. Riley leaned forward, her hand pressed over her chest, her eyes puzzled. She looked like she recognized something, but couldn't name it. Naomi didn't look at the music sheet. She didn't need to. She wasn't playing notes. She was telling something. And the room fell completely silent. In the back, a parent asked, "Who is she? I thought she was just Zara's mom." Another whispered, "She's not an amateur. That hand technique, I've seen it before." Naomi saw no faces, felt no lights. She was inside the song, not playing, remembering. She remembered quiet nights in the kitchen, the single clap from her dad. She remembered it all. A teacher leaned toward Miss Riley, whispering, "She studied, didn't she?" Ms. Riley nodded slowly. "I'm not sure, but that's no beginner." The tempo changed. The notes got faster, harder. Naomi didn't flinch. Her fingers flew. She was back. Zara whispered to herself, "My mom is flying." People sat straighter. Some held their breath. The principal looked up. He stared at her hands and smiled. "That's not practice," he said softly. "That's mastery." The piece wasn't finished, but something had changed. And then, a wrong note. Tiny, but clear. A slight break in the rhythm, like someone gasping for air in a sprint. Naomi paused, less than half a second, but enough for a few eyes to shift. Miss Riley frowned. A teacher leaned over. "She messed up?" "Maybe it's been too long," the other whispered. "Could have been luck till now." Naomi felt it instantly, like a thread snapping loose. She kept going, but the timing slipped, just a little. Was it panic or something deeper? Old voices crept in. "You know a few songs, so what?" "No one makes a life out of that." "Don't dream too big, Naomi." The room felt smaller, tighter, the air heavy. She sensed the stares turning back. Not wonder, but pity, doubt. The rhythm faltered. So did her heartbeat. She clenched her hands, tried to breathe, and then, "Mom!" A voice rang out. Not loud, but clear. Zara, standing, hair undone, eyes wide. "You've got this. I believe in you." Naomi saw her, just for a second, in Zara's eyes. No pressure, no judgment, just faith. Like the first time Zara walked, turned, and smiled. "I'm not scared anymore." Naomi took a breath, not to impress, not to prove anything, but to return something to herself, something she'd once lost. She had been away from music, but music never left her. She placed her hands back. No hesitation, no doubt. A teacher whispered, "Wait, what's she doing?" "A key change?" "No, she's coming back." And the music poured out. Not perfect, but alive, like a summer storm, messy, but full of power, full of truth. Naomi wasn't performing. She was remembering. She wasn't playing. She was living. At the back, the principal whispered, "That was more than music. That was something else." Naomi didn't finish the sheet. She rewrote it, right there, on stage, with the same hands that had stopped playing for over 10 years. The melody stayed, but it sounded different now. Stronger, freer. No longer Liszt's music for Europe's elite. Now it was Naomi's. A black mother, a baker, an artist without a spotlight. Fast runs didn't scare her. Sharp notes became exits. Her fingers said, "I never left. You just never saw me." She reached the final notes. No stumbles, no pause. They came naturally, like a river reaching the sea. Then, silence. Real silence. No breath, no movement. And then, a clap. Small, clear. Zara. Her little hands clapping wildly, eyes glowing. "Mom, you're the best in the world." The clapping spread. From kids, to parents, to teachers. It wasn't for the music. It was for the truth. A parent leaned in. "Who is she?" The other smiled. "Someone we never saw. Until today." Ms. Riley stood, face lit like magic. The principal clapped slowly, deliberately. No words, just respect. Naomi didn't bow, didn't wave. She turned and looked at her daughter. Zara skipped forward, wrapped her arms around her. "Mom, are you really an artist?" "I just play the piano, sweetie." "No," Zara whispered. "I know you're a miracle." A teacher stepped up, still holding the folded sheet. "Naomi, I don't know what to say. Thank you. And I'm sorry." Naomi smiled. "It's okay. Sometimes you have to be quiet long enough to know when to speak." The crowd slowly left, but something stayed. The whispers were different now. Not doubt, but wonder. Where did she study? Maybe Juilliard? Or Paris? How did we never know? Naomi stepped down, smoothing her dress. A habit from the bakery. Zara held her hand, bubbling with joy. "I told you, Mom. You're special." "You're the first to say that," Naomi said. "And the only one I believe." Principal Simmons approached. Suit a bit messy from clapping, but eyes kind, voice steady. "Naomi, I'm sorry we didn't see you sooner." Naomi nodded. "It's no one's fault. Some things show up only when they're ready." He pulled out a form, still warm from his pocket, an application. "Advanced Arts Program. Guest Instructor. We'd love you to teach, if you're willing." Naomi held the form. The ink smelled fresh. She looked at it for a long moment, not unsure, just honoring it. It was once a dream. She folded it carefully and handed it back. "I'm grateful, but right now I teach a different class. 5 a.m. 6th Street Bakery." Mr. Simmons blinked. Zara giggled. "Cookie class," she said. "Mom teaches with her heart." Naomi looked at her, then at the piano. Still, but no longer silent. "I think I'll play again, not to prove anything, just to remember who I am." They walked to the door, hand in hand. A teacher whispered, "She just turned an emergency slot into the most beautiful moment of the year." Another nodded, still watching. It wasn't the skill. It was her. Evening light spilled down the hall. Naomi and Zara walked side by side, like two friends who had just shared a quiet little secret. "Mom?" Zara looked up. "Can you play again tomorrow?" "Only if you're my first audience." Closing caption for video. You don't need the whole world to see you. Sometimes one pair of believing eyes is enough to remind you who you are. Thank you for watching. Please like or dislike. Every voice helps us grow.